Credit cards don't make you broke. What makes you broke is the way a credit card can turn normal life into monthly payments you don't notice, until they harden into a second rent. And once that happens, you can be disciplined and still feel stuck. Because the trap isn't the interest rate. The trap is the minimum payment becoming a fixed commitment that steals your breathing room every month. Hi, my name is Matt, and in this video, I'm going to show you the one pattern that makes credit card debt feel permanent, and how to break it. Before we jump in, hit subscribe if you like practical money videos that are simple, real life, and actually usable. Alright, let's start with the most common misunderstanding. Most people think credit card debt is just, you spent too much. Sometimes it is, but a huge amount of the time the balance grows for a boring reason. Your monthly life costs are slightly higher than your monthly take-home pay. So the card becomes the sponge that absorbs the gap. And here's the rule that explains almost everything. If your take-home pay minus fixed commitments doesn't leave enough for normal living, your credit card becomes a payment plan for your life, not a luxury life, your life. And the day your minimum payment becomes meaningful, it joins your fixed bills. That's the moment the card turns into second rent. So in this video, I'm going to do three things. First, I'll explain the second rent trap in plain math. Second, I'll show why balances don't go down even when you pay. And third, I'll give you a step-by-step escape plan that doesn't waste effort. Part 1. How the second rent forms. Picture your month as two buckets. Bucket A is fixed commitments. Rent, car payment, insurance, minimum debt payments, childcare, phone, anything that would cause panic if you missed it. Bucket B is flexible living. Groceries, gas, utilities, basic health stuff. The normal I'm alive costs. If bucket A is too big, bucket B starts getting funded by the card. At first, it's subtle. You put groceries on the card because you're waiting for payday. You tell yourself it's temporary, then the electric bill is higher, then a friend's wedding gift, then a prescription, then your car needs brakes. Nothing dramatic. Just normal life. Here's a simple example. Let's say your monthly take-home pay is $4,200. Your fixed commitments are $3,300. Rent is $1,900. Car plus insurance is $700. Student loan minimum is $250. Phone and internet is $150. Other fixed stuff is $300. That leaves $900 for groceries, gas, utilities, and everything else. But if your real normal living costs are $1,200, you're short $300. You can budget all you want, but the math is still short. So the card absorbs $300. Month 1, you charge $300. Month 2, you pay $200 and charge $300. Month 3, you pay $250 and charge $350 because of one surprise. In 3 months, you can be at $500 to $800 without ever buying anything flashy. Now zoom out 6 months, your balance hits $4,000. The minimum payment is now, say, $140. That $140 isn't optional. It's a bill, so your fixed commitments aren't $3,300 anymore. They're $3,440. And that means your breathing room is even smaller, which means you rely on the card even more. That's the self-feeding loop. This is why people feel like they're getting punished for being normal. It's not that you failed, it's that a slightly negative monthly gap eventually turns into a fixed monthly payment. The card turns your cash flow problem into a commitment problem, and the emotional part is brutal. You start blaming random things. You start thinking you need a side hustle, or better budgeting apps, or that you're bad with money. But the real issue is this. You're trying to pay off debt in a system that keeps requiring debt. Part 2. Why your balance never goes down. There are 5 mechanics that keep people trapped. Mechanic number 1, interest eats your payment first. At a 24% APR, you're paying roughly 2% per month in interest. An $8,000 balance can rack up around $160 in interest before your payment touches principal. So if you pay $200, you only killed about $40 of debt. And this is why people feel crazy. They're paying, but they're mostly paying rent to the debt. One way to see it is to look at your statement and find the interest line. For a lot of people, that number is basically a subscription. And if that interest number is close to your payment, you're not paying down debt. You're renting debt. Here's a rule of thumb. If your statement shows interest that's more than half of what you paid that month, you're not making progress. You're just keeping the account alive. That's when you need either a bigger payment, a lower rate, or a strategy that deletes a minimum payment fast. Otherwise, the balance will feel stuck for years. Mechanic number 2, you pay, and then you reborrow for basics. This is the sponge problem. You pay $300, then your month runs $320 over your available cash, so the card quietly covers it. Net result, you did the right thing and still went backwards. That's not you failing. That's your system being negative. This is also why people say, I can't stop using the card. If you don't have breathing room, stop using it feels like stop buying food. So we need to fix the breathing room, not just the behavior. Mechanic number 3, minimum payments are designed to be permanent. Minimum payments are set low enough to feel survivable, and high enough to keep you paying. If you only pay minimums, many balances take years to disappear. So your plan becomes pay forever. That's not because you're irresponsible, it's because the product is built to stretch repayment, unless you aggressively override it. Mechanic number 4, fees and rate changes reset progress. Late fees, promo rates ending, penalty, APR, balance transfer fees. These don't feel like spending, but they add debt. One slip can speed up the treadmill, and you don't even have to be late in the dramatic sense. You can have autopay set to minimum. Forget there's another card without autopay. Miss it once, and suddenly you're at a penalty rate. Mechanic number 5, multiple cards keep minimums alive. If you have 3 cards, you can be paying debt constantly. And never delete a single minimum payment. And if the minimum payments never disappear, your breathing room never increases. So you stay dependent on the card. Here's the uncomfortable truth. A lot of people aren't trapped by the balance. They're trapped by the minimum payments. Deleting minimum payments is what changes your month-to-month life. Part 3, the second rent test. Do this today. Step 1, add up your minimum payments across all credit cards. That total is your second rent. Step 2, put it next to your housing payment on paper. Not to shame yourself, just to see reality. If your rent is $1,900 and your minimum payments are $420, your housing is effectively $2,320 until the debt is gone. Step 3, calculate breathing room. Monthly take-home pay minus fixed commitments minus minimum payments. What's left is what you have for groceries, gas, utilities, and life. If breathing room is under 10% of take-home pay, you're in the danger zone. If it's negative, the card is functioning like income. That's why paying it down feels impossible. You're trying to pay debt while the system keeps needing debt. And one more check. Look at the last 60 days of card activity and circle what percentage is necessities versus optional. A lot of people are shocked to realize the card isn't funding shopping. It's funding groceries, gas, utilities, and medical. That tells you where the fix has to happen. Part 4, the escape plan in 3 phases. Phase A, stop the bleeding. The goal is to stop adding new debt while you pay down old debt. That means you need a system that can survive real life, not a fantasy month. Move 1, reduce easy leakage by limiting card access. Pick one card you'll keep for logistics if you must, and make the others annoying to use. Remove them from Apple Pay. Remove them from saved checkouts. Delete them from your browser autofill, and put them somewhere inconvenient. If you're serious, put a piece of tape on them and write, second rent. Every time you reach for it, you remember what you're building. Move 2, create a starter buffer. Even 300 helps. Even 500 helps. This isn't the full emergency fund. It's a shock absorber, so the next flat tire doesn't undo your plan. If you hate saving while in debt, frame it differently. You're buying stability. You're buying the ability to stop borrowing. Move 3, make essentials honest. For 1 month, stop pretending you can eat on $200 if you can't. If groceries are realistically $450, budget $450. If gas is $160, budget $160. Because under budgeting essentials is how people fall off. And then binge charge the card. The plan has to be honest, or it won't be durable. Phase B, lower the second rent. Your fastest emotional win is deleting minimum payments, because every minimum payment is a fixed commitment, and reducing fixed commitments increases breathing room. Choose a payoff method, snowball, smallest balance first for quick wins and motivation. Or avalanche, highest APR first to reduce interest fastest. Pick the one you'll actually stick with. Here's the key detail people miss. Your extra payment number must be realistic. If your breathing room is 200, promising yourself 600 is not discipline. It's self-sabotage. Start with what you can do consistently for 90 days. Now, rate reduction tools. First, balance transfer. This can be great if you qualify and you stop using the card, but you need to know two traps. One, the transfer fee often adds 3 to 5% immediately. Two, if you keep spending on the old card, you just created more debt. Balance transfers work when they're paired with Phase A. Second, consolidation loan. This can be great if the rate is meaningfully lower and the payment is manageable. But the biggest failure mode is people paying off cards with the loan and then running the cards back up. If you consolidate, you must treat the paid off cards like they're gone. Otherwise, you doubled the problem. Third, issuer hardship programs. If you've had job loss, medical issues, or a genuine hardship, call the issuer. Ask if they have an internal hardship plan, reduced APR, fixed payment plan, temporary relief. It's not guaranteed, but many people never ask, and asking can save you thousands. Phase C, fix the system that created the debt. Second rent happens when obligations outrun take-home pay, so you need more breathing room. 3 levers move it. Lever 1, reduce one major fixed commitment. Housing and cars are the usual suspects. If your car payment plus insurance is eating a huge chunk of take-home pay, the card isn't the problem. The car math is. Same with rent that's 50% or more of take-home. If you can reduce one big bill even by $200 to $300, you permanently increase breathing room. That's a payoff plan you can sustain. I know this is the hardest lever, but it's also the most honest. You can't budget your way out of a payment that's too large. If your fixed commitments are 85% of your take-home pay, you don't have a spending problem. You have a structure problem. Lever 2, turn predictable surprises into monthly lines. Annual bills are scheduled ambushes, insurance premiums, registration, holidays, tires, back to school, medical. Convert them into a monthly sinking fund. If your car maintenance averages $600 a year, that's $50 a month. If holiday spending is $1,200, that's $100 a month. When you do this, you stop needing the card for predictable spikes. You start paying for future you on purpose. Lever 3, add income with a mission. The best income plan is not emotional. It's targeted. I need $300 extra per month for 10 months to kill car day. Overtime, freelance, weekend shifts, a temporary second job, selling a few high-value items. Whatever is simplest and sustainable. Not forever. Long enough to delete a minimum payment. Once you delete one minimum payment, you get breathing room. And breathing room makes the next one easier. That's momentum that actually matters. Part 5, what to do if you're already in deep. If your second rent is huge and you're missing payments, here's the order of operations. Step 1, protect essentials first. Housing, food, transportation to work, and health are the base. If your debt payoff plan causes you to miss rent or lose your car, the plan is broken. Debt can be renegotiated. Evictions and job loss are much harder to fix. Step 2, contact issuers before you miss. Call and ask for options. You are not asking for charity. You are asking for a workable plan. Ask, do you have a hardship program? Can you reduce the APR? Can you put me on a fixed payment plan? Step 3, understand structured help. A nonprofit credit counseling agency can set up a debt management plan that lowers interest rates and consolidates payments. That's different from debt settlement. Debt settlement often involves stopping payments and negotiating, which can have major credit and legal risks. I'm not telling you what to choose, just don't mix them up. If you're overwhelmed, you want lower rates and predictability, not chaos. Step 4, make the math visible. Write your second rent number down and keep it somewhere you'll see it. Not to shame yourself, to keep your decisions aligned. The easiest relapse is one more purchase won't matter. But when you see second rent, $420, it's harder to pretend. Part 6, rules that prevent relapse. Once you start winning, you need guardrails. Rule 1, if it can't be paid in full this month, it's a loan. Call it debt, not spending. That mental label changes how you feel about just throwing it on the card. Rule 2, one card, one purpose. If you keep a card, give it a job. Recurring bills you already have cash for. Travel only, or emergencies only. Every day, everything is how everyday debt happens. Rule 3, Weekly balance check, not monthly panic. Most people avoid their balance until it's scary. A 60-second weekly check prevents drift. You don't need a spreadsheet. You just need awareness. Rule 4, protect the breathing room you earn. The most common relapse is paying off a card and replacing the minimum payment with a new payment. A phone, furniture, a car upgrade. When a minimum disappears, you don't use the space. You keep it. Breathing room is the prize. Part 7, the 30-day blueprint. Week 1, clarity. List balances, APRs, and minimum payments. Add up the minimums. That's second rent. Calculate take-home, fixed commitments, and breathing room. Choose snowball or avalanche. Pick one target card. Week 2, stop the bleeding. Remove access to extra cards. Set autopay to minimum on every card so you don't get hit with fees. Build a starter buffer. Even if it's small, it changes how many surprises go on the card. Week 3, execute. Pay minimums on all cards. Throw every extra dollar at the target card. Do one focused cost move. Cancel 2 subscriptions. Renegotiate 1 bill, or cut 1 category for 30 days. Not forever. Just long enough to create extra payoff money. Week 4, stabilize and adjust. Check your total balance. If it went down, great. If it didn't, don't panic. Use the data. Did you add charges? Why? Were essentials under budgeted? Did an annual bill hit? This tells you whether you need a sinking fund line, a bill reduction, or a short-term income boost. Repeat this for 90 days and you'll usually see the real shift. Either the debt is falling and momentum is building, or you discover the structural issue that must change for payoff to be possible. Both outcomes are valuable because they end the confusion. Alright, so here's the wrap-up. Credit card debt becomes a second rent when the minimum payment turns into a fixed commitment that steals your breathing room. And once it's a fixed commitment, paying it off isn't about willpower. It's about cash flow. So run the second rent test. Add up your minimum payments, treat them like a bill, and calculate breathing room. Then follow the order, stop the bleeding, lower the second rent, and fix the system that created it. Do that, and your balance will finally start going down in a way you can actually feel. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.